Hi everyone. So for this week's assignment, we were asked to imagine ourselves in a situation described by one of our classmates. So for this week, I wanted to talk about the situation that Jessica described in her video of unequal distribution of power and prestige. She explains that she doesn't feel comfortable listing her ethnicity on her job applications, even though she's very proud of who she is as an African American woman. She still feels that her identity can be a liability. So, as a defense, she doesn't list her ethnicity, and she also uses code switching when speaking in a professional setting because she doesn't want someone to prejudge her and eliminate her as a candidate before they really know who she is and if she has the proper skill set. So I chose this situation because I feel that we have very different identities. I've been raised to always empathize and try to put myself in other people's shoes, but I really do agree with Dan Norris's statement of you don't truly know what it's like for someone else other than yourself. You can just know how you feel in that situation. Um, so to insert my own identities into Jessica's situation, I feel it would be very different. Seeing first off, I'm white and she's a woman of color. I've never had to think twice about my ethnicity being a liability and if I should check that box on the application or not. I've always been in a situation where either that option just wasn't even listed on the application, or it was a face to face interview or a phone interview, and then you would go over demographics later. So I've never really been in that situation. However, I've had a situation that was almost opposite, I guess. So this happened when I was applying to dental school. After meeting with advisors and other accepted students, we were just talking about how I can beef up my resume and look more, become an applicant that stands out more. And they told me that I should talk about being Portuguese in my personal statement. And if I speak Portuguese, I should list that on the application as well. Just because it would look better, they said, and that my application would stand out more and wouldn't be so generic, I guess. Um, so just relating this back to what Jessica said, how when she talked to her HR friend and asked, why do they ask for your race on a job application? Because it's really bothersome. And her friend replied that it's all due to statistics and seeing, um, just for data later on. I feel companies and schools, they have this thing in their heads that they need to have an equal or an equal spectrum of students, and that they don't want to accept predominantly white students or too many colored students or Asian students. So they have this thing that they look at the statistics and if they've met their quota, I guess, or not. So which is pretty messed up if you think about it, and that, students or applicants for positions, um, the employer is looking at making sure that everything that they're having equal numbers versus the person themselves and if they're a good candidate or not. I feel like they were trying to eliminate being biased and then they make more of a bias in the end. So I thought that was a very interesting situation that she talked about because, I've never really had to think about that until applying to dental school. And that was the first time I've ever had to think, am I not good enough because of my ethnicity? Um, but I mean, I definitely, that would be extremely hard to have to deal with that on a daily basis and constantly, second guessing yourself. And it truly is unfair that you have all of this anxiety before you even have a job interview. It's just the first step of applying, and you're slammed with all of this other anxiety on top of it, and then you still have to go to the interview afterwards. And it's a shame that, depending on who you are, that some people really do make that judgment prematurely, and don't let qualified, exceptional applicants through just because they have some sort of prejudgment in their own heads. So I thought that was very interesting that she talked about that. And I really do agree that Dan Norris, you truly don't understand and feel what someone else is feeling. You can empathize for them, but you do not know how they feel. You can only understand how you would feel in that situation. So I think most importantly for communication in the long run, is just having the ability to take your past experiences and try to relate to someone as best as possible without having any prejudgment on them, and really try to empathize and fully understand that you cannot know exactly how that person feels. I think that's the most important thing, that people get frustrated because someone says, "Oh, I totally understand how you feel," but no, you don't. Like, you can't ever fully understand it. And I think if once you understand that you will never fully understand how someone else feels, then you're better off in the long run with communicating with others. So that's my speech. Thanks so much, and have a great day.